basically say hello, to come out of the spaceship and say we're here? I mean, why are they here?
I think it goes back to, and once again, I'm not a religious person, but I believe that it all goes back to the Bible and the fallen angels and all of that and what's going on. And like I said, I believe that we're living in the time of Revelation right now. And I believe that what Christians call, the great rapture is about to happen. I believe that possibly the reason why all of this is happening to me and many firsts, as far as my filming things and like I explained, the Big Brother page itself being what I consider not able to be duplicated by a human being. As evidence, I think that's why I've been given all of this, the ability to film these things and show people, more so just to attract their attention and to get the message across that an immense change is about to happen on this earth.
Okay.
And, so that's the direction I think we're going. I think that kind of follows along with a majority of Christian philosophy right now, although I don't consider myself a Christian necessarily, but I do believe in God and the Son of God, absolutely.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what, John Mitchell, we need to go to break here, so I'd like to try to pick that up where we left off after break, so just stay on the line, please.
You betcha.
John Mitchell, welcome back.
Thank you.
Jokingly there I mentioned that, but, some believe that aliens are harvesting humans to eat. Have you investigated any of that?
I've heard that, absolutely. My take on that is this. As we mentioned before, the commercial break, what I believed before this experience is that, I've always had an extremely strong connection with God, or my interpretation of God. And at the time, I believed that evil was only in the hearts of man. I didn't believe that Satan was an actual being, and I didn't really know enough about it either from the revelation of Jesus Christ. Since my experience, I've come to believe that the Bible is 100% accurate. It's the only source that I've found about that's ancient and yet talks about serpents, or some people call them reptilians. And yes, I believe that evil exists. If they're eating people, I wouldn't be surprised. I don't have any information personally that I can add to that as an experience, but yes, I believe that human beings have an enemy and always have, and that this enemy has been controlling everything, controlling this globe for a long time. And all of this is coming to light now. I believe that the time we live in right now, right before the rapture occurs, is a time when all truth is revealed to people, and I believe that I've been blessed to be able to be a part of that.
Well, that's interesting, and in fact, that's where we left off in the last hour before we went to break.
Right.
In the Christian belief of a rapture, what do UFOs have to do with that? Are they going to take people up? Is that how it's going to happen, or is it a copy or a distraction of some other event?
Personally, my own personal opinion, and I call it a transition rather than rapture. I call it a transition. I believe that it's going to be possibly even an unfelt, just a transition into a new reality. It's going to happen globally, and it will be a division of beings that live here between good and evil. And there's actually a gentleman on YouTube that I believe he's from Sweden, possibly, who had an encounter. He's on YouTube. If you look up Time Traveler on YouTube, you'll find this gentleman that had an experience where he was in his kitchen and alleges that he went underneath the kitchen sink to fix the sink, and he encountered some type of wormhole, actually a bright light underneath his kitchen sink, and crawled through it out the other side and came up and met himself as an older man on the other side. And that this gentleman had the presence of mind to make a quick videotape on his cell phone of him standing next to himself. And lo and behold, it looks very real. And the gentleman had a very unique kind of tribal tattoo on his arm, and he's standing there in the video next to his older self, holding their arms together, and they both have identical videos. and his name is actually Håkan Nord. It's Nordkvist is his last name. And if you look up his video on YouTube, I'm inclined to believe the man personally.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that I don't see it as a bunch of ships coming down and sucking people up into them and taking them away somewhere. I look at it more as a transition right here on this planet into a new reality, all at the same time.
All right. And what do you think that new reality would be? A new Earth or what? New dimensions?
Yeah. As promised in the Bible, I guess you'd call it a new Earth. The ability for human beings to live again without this evil being put upon them. And I believe that this place, the time of the reality that we live in now, was created by God, or a supreme creator, and that Satan and the fallen angels are here, and that in this transition, this new world, that won't be there. The evil will not be there and exist, and therefore neither will money, and neither will people trying to hurt each other and all the other evil things that are happening in this world. I believe free energy will be there, and anti-gravity, and all the things necessary to make a truly enlightened community of human beings.
Do you think that if an alien were to eat, say, a fat person instead of a thin person, do you think that he would actually be supersizing?
Yeah, I guess you could call that alien supersizing. Yeah,
Okay.
I don't know about all this eating people business. I really don't. I know that there's several stories out there, and I would not discount it at all. And if it turns out to be true, I think that's something that deserves a lot of concern.
Okay. What about UFOs over the White House? Have you done any research on that?
A little bit. Yeah, back in the 50s, they spotted a whole bunch of them, and there's photographs available to that effect. And it all goes back to what a lot of people, we're finding now in this time, that people we used to call conspiracy theorists, lo and behold, they were right. The streets in Washington, D.C. being in the shape of satanic symbols, the fact that the Capitol building in Washington, D.C. sits in the belly of Moloch, a satanic symbol, the owl.
Right.
And in fact, in between 1863 and 1865, there's a gentleman named Edward Clark who held the post of architect of the Capitol, and it was his job to, if you recall in history, the old Capitol was burned down and we rebuilt in Washington, D.C. It was his job to put the new dome, which exists to this day, on our Capitol, and the statue on top of it. If you go into the Library of Congress and look up the original plans for the Capitol building, the statue called for the Virgin Mother Mary to be up there. And in fact, and everybody can research this for themselves, if you go to Washington, D.C., and you take a photograph of the statue that's up there, you'll find that through research, the statue is Persephone, which is the Greek goddess of the underworld, and in Greco-Latin, Persephone means she who destroys the light. Now, I think that says a lot to the fact that since 1776, there's been a lot of people being duped about what this country is really about, and the world, in fact, and I think that has a lot to do with why these UFOs are showing up around, and were showing up around missile silos and in Washington, D.C. and all this. I believe it was a message for sure.
And so do you feel like at some point there's going to be some sort of worldwide just UFO just coming out of the clouds and just hovering over major cities, or is it going to be something more subdued, or only a few people are going to see it, or what do you think is going to happen?
I believe that the people who will leave during this transition or in the rapture will be spared this, and those who are left behind for whatever I believe divine reason to witness the rest of this destruction of the world. I believe that what I term the sons of light will come here, and there will be a major war.
Wow.
An alien war, if you want to call it. Yeah.
An alien war, a war between the humans and the aliens?
A war between the satanic and the good.
How is it